Hey Run Junkies, welcome to Runners Without Limits TV. If you're a fan of Rundisney events, maybe you participated in some of the virtual races in the last year, and those big medal boxes came with some fun add-ons and perks. Today, I am going to show you these two recipes that are inspired by Rundisney events. So stick around, please like and subscribe. We have two recipes from the Wine and Dine virtual events, and that event theme was Disney villains. Those villains included Yzma and Kronk for the 5K, the Evil Queen, Captain Hook, and Ursula. We have the apple charcuterie board fit for a queen, and then you have Kusco's Impossible Groove Bowl with roasted veggies and crispy quinoa. Now, if you didn't participate in the Wine and Dine virtual events and didn't get the box that had these big things in it, that's okay, because all of those recipes are available online. I'm going to leave those in the description below. Now let's start with the apple charcuterie board fit for a queen. This one was sponsored by Chiquita Banana. However, it was more notably the Chiquita Bites, and that was kind of the basis for this recipe in this charcuterie board. These are prepackaged snack packs with apples and cheese and crackers and things like that in there. Now, I was looking at my local supermarkets and I just couldn't find these, but that's okay, because the nice thing about a snack pack like this is that you can find the raw materials probably more readily than the snack packs. So that's how I adjusted this recipe.
Now, before I put the board together, the recipe calls for serving it with apple hot pepper jelly. And this sounded really good, but what I didn't realize is that it's a canning process to make the preserves. I've never done any canning in my life, so I don't know if I did it right, but I thought I'd try it. So this recipe calls for Chiquita sticks. These are basically peeled apple sticks, but I just sliced and peeled a couple of apples. You also have red and yellow bell peppers, jalapeno peppers, sugar, apple cider vinegar, water, and fruit pectin. I used 4-ounce canning jars for storage. Now, the jelly making process was pretty straightforward, but it was the canning process that was a bit complicated for me the first timer at canning. I have to admit, I had no idea what I was doing. So once the jelly cooled, I tasted it with a couple of Wheat Thins crackers. It is really quite good. Now, the jelly isn't as thick as I think it ought to be, but it's still very good, and maybe worth the process if you want to give it a try. Now, next I put together the charcuterie board, which is really more like a scavenger hunt in the kitchen than a lot of cooking. If you've ever put together a charcuterie board, it's just meat and cheeses and some fruits and stuff. So once you have all the ingredients, it's really just a matter of laying them out. I used cubed cheddar cheese, pizzelle cookies, Wheat Thins crackers, a couple of stroopwafels, apple wedges, and prosciutto. You really can use whatever you like with this board by adding other fruits or berries or cheeses or other cured meats or anything else you'd like to add to it.
Now, I love a good charcuterie board, meat and cheeses and fruits and all that stuff. So it was really easy to put this together, and it's also a great grab and go snack. So I took all of the ingredients and I broke it all up into smaller bento boxes, which are great grab and go for me, maybe post-workout, or if I have to go somewhere, or if my son is starving because he's 13 and he is constantly hungry. So they're really good for that too. The other recipe that came with the Wine and Dine virtual medals is the Kusco's Impossible Groove Bowl with roasted veggies and crispy quinoa. Now, this was sponsored by Impossible Burger, which is a plant-based protein that looks a lot like ground beef. Now, I've heard actually it's very good. However, I won't say it's impossible to find because it's not, but I really couldn't find it in my local supermarket, so I just used ground beef.
It also calls for a variety of spices: quinoa, corn, cherry tomatoes, scallions, avocado, lime juice, and cilantro. Another adjustment I made was substituting ears of corn, which is what the recipe called for, and I used frozen. I just heated that frozen corn up in the microwave, and I used that rather than hunting down corn on the cob. For right now, which is the middle of winter, corn on the cob is out of season. Now, these spices are all mixed together in the burger before cooking, and let me tell you, I'm going to remember this spice combo because it is amazing. Cook up the meat and chop up the veggies, roast those in the oven. I cooked quinoa and then got a second roast in the oven to give the quinoa a little bit of crisp. Once it's all done, you mix it all together, toss in some cubed avocado, cilantro, and lime juice, and voila. Cusco's Groove Bowl with roasted veggies and crispy quinoa. And if you want to know how it tasted, here you go.
Okay, first taste. Yeah, that's good. Tasty. That's very good. Now this dish was actually pretty complicated in my opinion. I don't like to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. This actually took quite a bit of time. There was a lot of prep work going in. There was a lot of cleanup afterward, and there were just a lot of steps. I don't mind cooking to that degree. It's just not something that I do very frequently. However, the result was very good and absolutely worth it. The seasoning in the burger is absolutely incredible. And in fact, I'm going to kind of pre-make some of that stuff and use it next time we grill out for hamburgers. The crispy quinoa, I kind of squinted and tilted my head a little bit on that part of it. I wasn't really sure if I was gonna like it. It was great. And then the roasted veggies were also perfect. Adding the lime and cilantro and avocado just brought it all the way over the top. The result was a very satisfying and filling dish. It was excellent. Now before I go, I want to give a quick shout out to Excelsior cutting boards. These are made by one of my athlete clients, and I wanted to give him a quick shout out, and I will leave a link to Excelsior cutting boards in the description below. So those are two great dishes served up by your Rundisney villains from Wine and Dine virtual event. And I want to hear from you. Have you tried these recipes? And if so, what do you think? Please leave thoughts, questions, comments, and suggestions for future videos in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Until next time, remember you have no limits, and happy running and happy eating.